I'm Michael Huxley. Some of you may know me as a wildlife photographer, but this is not exactly a wildlife documentary. This is a story about two mates on an epic adventure across one of the most dazzling, extraordinary, and sometimes bewildering countries on Earth, India. I'm travelling with my good mate Andy.
We are on the train, finally.
On a 5-week mission to explore as much of India as possible. It won't be easy. In fact, sometimes it will be bloody difficult, even perilous. But I guarantee it will be worth it.
You cannot possibly beat that.
The journey begins in the far south of India, in the city of Mysuru. Formerly known as Mysore, this bustling city is home to sprawling markets, and perhaps most famously, the Mysore Palace, which is the most visited site in India after the Taj Mahal. But for us, Mysuru is a launchpad from where the real adventure begins. Our plan is to catch a comfortable train north to the sprawling World Heritage ruins of Hampi. But we soon realise that booking trains as a foreigner is almost impossible. So we had no choice but to take a 12-hour sleeper bus instead.
Thank you.
To get some extra room for our gear, we booked a spacious double berth at the back of the bus.
So this is where we are for the rest of the night. On the end of the night bus.
We soon realised that the back of the bus is the worst possible place to be. The bouncing was so bad, it felt as if the road was one continuous pothole. Little did we know, this would not be our last sleeper bus. By the time we arrived, it was 4 a.m.
Hell of a journey, but we made it. We made it.
After a 5-kilometre sleep-deprived walk through the streets, we finally arrived at our hotel.
We made it.
Well, it was actually the Vijayashree Resort. In the lush gardens, the persistent sense of bouncing gradually subsided. In fact, it was so luxurious, we almost forgot the ordeal it took to get here. Almost. But we didn't come all this way to laze around in a resort. Hampi is famous for its World Heritage ruins, but to get there, we need to take our first rickshaw.
Nice to meet you. What's your name?
Andrew.
And you?
Michael.
Michael, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Eventually, we made it. And it was absolutely worth the journey. This 4,000 hectare World Heritage Site is home to over 1,000 structures from the ancient Vijayanagara Empire. There are royal bathhouses, immense stables for elephants, and a limitless array of temples and ornate carvings. Once the world's second largest city, Hampi was abandoned in 1565 when the Vijayanagara Empire was conquered by Muslim sultanates. The main site is a massive Hindu temple and stepwell complex. Clamouring amid giant boulders, we feel like ants in a marble collection. It truly is one of the most extraordinary landscapes. Away from the main draw cards, the landscape is refreshingly deserted. The remnants of once royal palaces are now the playground of langur monkeys. One really could spend days exploring these sprawling ruins, but after a random guy climbs out of a temple and asks us if we want magic mushrooms, we realise we've seen enough. It's time for the next journey. A 14-hour bus ride to the former Portuguese settlement of Goa. The bus is scheduled to leave Hospet at 8 p.m. To get there, it's a long walk and a rickshaw ride. But as evening falls on the chaotic streets of Hospet, our first bus is cancelled, although the company denies it and charges us anyway. So we book another one through a different company, and after a few hours of waiting, our chariot arrives. The journey from Hospet to Goa is only 300 kilometres.
Good luck, buddy.
It will take our bus over 14 hours to get there.
Well, by some miracle, we made it onto the bus to Goa. Managed to get a couple of bunks, one at the very back at the top, which is where I am, the other one directly below, which is where Andy is. Just enough space for my legs.
This sleeping compartment comes equipped with a drinks holder. Somebody else is drinking it. Quite honestly, it looks like a biohazard.
Comes equipped with a pillow release. Broken window. Good Lord.
Down below, Andy wasn't faring much better. In the early hours of the morning, he awoke to a random dude sitting on his feet. 14 hours later, Andy, myself, and the biohazard bottle arrive in Goa, traumatised but alive.
We made it. Just.
The pint-sized state of Goa was settled by the Portuguese in 1510, and it is here that chilies, tomatoes and potatoes were first introduced to India from South America. The Portuguese ruled Goa until 1961, and the old city is littered with colonial era architecture. But Goa is most famous for its beaches, where one can relax and soak up some sun with everyone's favourite beach companion, the cow. It doesn't take us long to realise that Goa is where most tourists come to party and drink far too much beer. So we decide it's time to move on. The plan is to head northeast to one of the most remarkable sites in all of India, the Ellora Caves near Aurangabad. Since we still can't book trains, we must settle for the 18-hour bus ride. But this time we've done our homework and booked what is by all accounts a luxury bus. So it's time to get out of Goa, and we're waiting now at the bus terminal. Waiting for our apparently very fancy bus. But with the traffic gridlocked, it's going to be a long wait. We watch as the Stars and Stripes, the Jesus bus, and even the Mercedes-Benz bus all arrive. But ours is still stuck in traffic. Eventually, our luxurious purple chariot arrives, and it's glorious.
Purple brand. You good? Yeah, I'm good. Whoa. Look at that. To this. For the first time, a sleeper bus actually lives up to its name. It seems that we have mastered the buses. After 18 hours, we arrive in Aurangabad.